Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sam64, and welcome to the RoboCast. I'm joined alongside,
Anderson9132 the Wars Guru.
And Steve, the American Killjoy.
and we are here to discuss the second half of the bracket of the 2018 BattleBots season. Guys, first of all, let's just start off with that amazing episode. In general, really, every fight was just high action, high octane, really good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean,
It was a really good set of fights. I'm really unhappy with the one that they highlighted.
Yes.
I really would love to see the Yeti Whiplash fight, but all in all, they were all very, very entertaining. I think really, yeah, I think the only real, it's hard to say if it was lackluster, but out of all of them, maybe the Bronco Warhawk one was a little bit maybe lackluster, but
the
the
thing
fact
is,
that
That's exactly what I said earlier.
yeah, the fact that Warhawk jumps out of the screws is it's so hard to compete with. It's like, I mean, it was still interesting, even though it was even though it was the lowest on the totem pole for me. You know what I mean?
the thing is with the Bronco Warhawk fight
Yeah.
is that Bronco is a big name at the end of the day, isn't it? So I suppose
Yeah, it's
that's
the 2 seed. It's understandable.
yeah. I can see why they kept saying it, because obviously there was a big shock with Tombstone going out, so surely Bronco won't fall. And we'll get to the fight in a minute, but it looked like for a while it was going to.
Maybe.
Anyway, so we actually discussed the episode itself.
Let's do it.
All right. So we start off with 14 seed Huge and the 3rd seed Bite Force. So, for my 2 cents, I feel really bad for the Huge guys, because I think the fight with IceWave did a lot more damage than what initially appeared to be the case.
Mhm.
Obviously, it fell in half. That's a fair bit of damage to begin with.
Oh my God, that's an understatement.
But I think repairing it was a bit more difficult than what they let on, and I think I'll be honest, they were winning the fight. They had the fight
Yeah,
won. They had the fight won against Bite Force.
They had their primary weapon destroyed. All they had to do was just keep moving and hit them occasionally, and they would have had the fight. And
Then
then
a weapon shaft snapped and it fell in half.
I just like how it did it so gracefully as well, just because it rolled over so its legs, its weird little spindly bits hit the floor, and as they hit the floor, it just went.
The best
Give
bit,
up.
the best
There we
thing
go.
about this
And then
this
we've got
one,
spinning tops.
yes, the best thing about this one was that obviously when IceWave split Huge in half, it was forcefully chopped in half. It was aggressive. This Huge was still alive and it just fell.
It's just like,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Done.
Like, in a movie where like a guy gets cut in half and he's still running and it just falls apart and then just dies.
yes, exactly that. Exactly.
That's what happened. It was
You just needed the Mario end, dun 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 dun, as it did it, and that would have been perfect.
brilliant. And, another cool thing. Obviously, we got to see that Huge is actually separately driven on either side, which is quite interesting. That they use 2 receivers and 2 different sets of parts to control one robot. It's quite interesting. It was essentially a cluster bot after that.
Yeah,
But,
like Red Devil.
Yeah, just
same
like
idea.
just like Red Devil, exactly. They use independently driven wheels, and it's all very interesting. For my 2 cents, Huge. What an interesting season Huge has had.
Yeah.
They started so well. They got 3 straight wins. They got split in half by IceWave. They had Bite Force on the ropes essentially, and then just decided, nope, that's it. That's the end for us. It's been a hell of a ride, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been quite a ride for them. The 2 things going forward for Huge is, I guess we've seen these last 2 fights that its Achilles heel is its splitting in half capability. And, I mean, that's going to be one of the things where in the future they're going to have to really harden that. I don't know if it's just I don't know how easy that's going to be to do, honestly, with the way that Huge is designed. It's entirely based on that one link, and if that one link breaks, it's 2 pieces.
Yep.
So, and then it's going to be one thing about Huge. It's like it hasn't. I don't know if it just had a really tough card, and we've talked about this before, where it's had a really tough run of it, and it doesn't have that knockout capability. It's almost like it needs, and they also went for the shorter blade here in this fight. I noticed.
No, they went for the longer blade.
Really? It looked like in
They-
that fight
they-
it was shorter.
They said before the fight they've gone for the longer blade, so he outreached them.
Well.
They did say that.
It shows I'm paying attention.
Oh.
But,
You have to think
yeah.
that their opponents that they fought, they fought Free Shipping, which is impossible to kill, Sub-Zero, which is impossible to kill, and who else did they beat?
Chomp.
And Chomp, which is notoriously difficult to kill. Facebook has tried many times. It's never going to happen. Guys. It's never going to happen. Chomp's here forever. Chomp is here forever. Obviously, from Bite Force's point of view, as much as it didn't seem too damaged after the fight. Lucky escape. What could have been? They lost the weapon chain. Had Huge just not fell in half and it just kept working.
Yeah,
I think Huge had
a massive upset.
Yeah, Huge had this.
I think Huge had this one. And here's a question: it would have gone up against BroTator.
Yeah.
Does that mean we would have had BroTator in the top 4 potentially? Because I can see it doing an IceWave against Huge, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who knows? Who knows?
I mean, obviously, it's all ifs and buts. Obviously, Huge fell in half. That's the end of it, really. But
yeah. Also, you kind of gave away a future fight there, Anderson.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
Maybe we'll see.
Oh, right. Sorry, yeah, got you. Sorry. I was going to say, what? I've accidentally spoiled something now. What?
Maybe season 4. Maybe we'll see RotatoR against Huge.
That would be sick.
Yeah.
Who knows? Two big guns now. I suppose they have to be considered big guns. They made the bracket, didn't they?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So Bite Force moves on. We've got a bit of an interesting trivia from Bite Force a bit later on in the episode before they actually fight, which I found quite interesting. And I believe the next fight was it RotatoR next or was it Bronco?
No, it was RotatoR IceWave.
So RotatoR takes on IceWave next. And I think everyone and their grandma, me included, had IceWave down to win this one.
It's been so dominant.
God, yeah.
Because IceWave has only lost so far to Scorpios, which somewhat controversial fashion. It should have lost the fight, however, due to the letter of the ruling, it was controversial.
They really are trying to drive that home, how that was such a controversial fight.
Yeah, I know. It was controversial, honest, it was.
Yeah, I totally agree. Absolutely.
In terms of the law, I suppose it is controversial. Anyway.
Yeah. Not downplaying it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, back to
the fight.
Back to this fight in general. RotatoR with an amazing strategy call.
Yeah.
Going with the one disc, very interesting. Obviously, using the big titanium plow at the front to absorb the hits and take the brunt of IceWave's bark, knowing that it takes a long time for it to get back up to killing speed.
Mm-hmm.
And they've finally done. We've waited 3 seasons. 3 seasons. That ICE at the top of IceWave has been an Achilles heel. We've been waiting for someone to get up there. And it was RotatoR of all things to do it.
Yeah, because it has totally lost matches by that ICE getting destroyed in the past.
Yep.
So I mean, it was a matter of time before we saw it on TV. I guess I just didn't expect to see it. It was cool.
I honestly had the way that IceWave was performing, it genuinely could have won this. Like the competition, it's been performing really. I don't know how it would have fared against Bite Force. I think they would have struggled there, but if anything could have stopped Bite Force, obviously other than Tombstone, I think IceWave could have. It's
fair shout.
Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say it was a fair shout.
No,
Okay.
in terms of the fight in general, I mean, I think they said it in the commentary. I can't remember the driver's name. It's someone Soto, but I can't remember.
Victor Soto.
Victor Soto. He had. He drove phenomenally. He drove absolutely phenomenally.
Yeah.
He did exactly what he needed to do. He kept using the wedge to propel him up into the ICE, and it was phenomenal driving.
Yeah. And IceWave, Mark DeVitz was getting some good pushes in too. Honestly, he was really trying to defend because he once you lose that blade, that IceWave, it's very Tombstone like. Like once you lose that blade, it's. Well, I don't know. Tombstone's worse at pushing. I don't think anything pushes worse than Tombstone. But it's a whole different. He's a wedge. He's a wedge with a big bulby thing on top.
Yep.
And it's just not the same robot without that killer blade. It was a humbling moment, I think, for that robot. I think.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of strange that we have to see IceWave as a wedge spot. Considering how many times we've seen it split 2 robots in half. and this time it's been decapitated. It kind of makes me sad. I hope, if there is a season 4 going forward, I hope Mark Divitz does come. I hope it does come. He does come back with IceWave.
Yes.
So I really, really hope that he comes back with IceWave.
How do you improve it?
Well, this is it. What can he do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, IceWave this season has been the best it's been since BattleBots has come back. I think that's fair to say.
That's the problem with the big bar spin like that as well, is that you can't really put a stream mech on it as well. It's very difficult.
Yeah, it's not like a shell spinner where you could put a pole at the top like Gigabyte or Ziggo and have it be invertible.
Yeah.
Like have it get not invertible, but like get back over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, use its own inertia, sort of thing.
Well, the problem with the design like IceWave is it's either hit or be killed yourself. It's kill or be
it's
killed.
all attack.
It's very much one of them machines. Either you're doing all the work or someone else is doing all the work. There's no in between.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it was, of course, against Scorpios. But still. But apart from that...
That's a separate matter entirely.
Yeah, I think that was in an alternate universe. It's fine. So, yeah.
I have to say, though, I feel us three in general have been quite vindicated because we all kind of said that at the start of the season, RotatoR could be a dark horse.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And,
because it showed... We didn't see anything... Season 2, it was out immediately against Witch Doctor, one wheel gone. But then we saw that fight. I don't know if you guys have watched it.
In the Rumble.
The Rumble against Splatter and who else were they playing? Basilisk?
I think it might have been. I can't remember.
I don't remember. Forgettable robot that I'm gonna get told in the comments. I'm sure.
Yeah.
But it kicked Splatter's ass back when Splatter was back when before Splatter was Whiplash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
It was.
It's interesting. It's amazing to see a new machine. Obviously not a new machine, but like a new team take that leap forward. Obviously, RotatoR was a new machine in season 2. Which we've said this a couple of times this season. The robots that were new in season 2. Your Bite Forces, your Rotators, your Saw Blazes. They took a year to get settled in and work out the problems, and now they're amazing, and they've really stepped up their game.
Mm-hmm.
So.
What's new in season 2? Do you mean it's weapon setup?
Yeah, it's the new version of Bite Force. That's what I meant.
I was going to say, because it's not a new robot.
No, I know. Yeah. What I mean by that is, what I mean by that is...
I did guess that, just double checking, because I didn't want you to look like a colossal penis on the internet. I mean, you do anyway.
Thank you for that.
There we
go. But, you get my understanding. The fact that it was a new robot from that team. It was a new version of Bite Force.
Right, new build. Yes,
yeah.
Completely new idea. It's complete departure from what it had been before, and it really, it's just cool to see. It's just cool to see it do well.
Yeah, exactly. So fair play to the RotatoR team, and they make it to the top 8, which is kind of crazy. Obviously their prize is a fight with Bite Force, which we'll talk about a bit later. But first of all, we have the 2-seed Bronco against Warhawk, which has quietly had a really good season. Obviously, it won the vertical rumble a couple of weeks ago. In spectacular style, really. It kind of dominated the fight in the end, which is kind of crazy. And in this fight, it had 2 mini-bots. Obviously, it had Warstop and WHYACH.
Yeah.
And I have to say, at the start, they were the better robot. They were controlling the pace of the fight. They were using the mini-bots to just distract Bronco. And I thought, again, we could have had another upset on our hands. The big hit that they got on Bronco, they turned it over. It was great. And they just see it flying through the air. It was really dangerous, and it looked strong. Warhawk looked really strong. And then it got flipped in the screws.
Yeah.
And
somehow, some way, it ends up. Somehow, some way, robots just find new and cool ways to just immobilize themselves. It flips itself into the screws, and somehow, some way, toasters itself into the screw area.
Yeah.
It's just, that wasn't the end of the story.
Oh no! I have to say, before that, there was the first big flip that Bronco got, and when Warhawk hit the floor, is a big bang as it hits the floor, and it just flies up the other way. It's incredible. There's really, so much energy going on in that vertical spinner. Obviously, that kind of thing, but it's just crazy to see, a robot of that size just flinging around like it's nothing. Yeah. And obviously, eventually, Warhawk somehow gets out of the screws. I'm not entirely sure how they did it. As George Francis of Chaos 2 fame once said, he frantically wiggled the sticks.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much what Rob Farrow was doing in this situation, just frantically wiggling the sticks on the controller.
Well,
Yeah,
he was
something's gonna
wiggling he was wiggling the steering dial because he's got one of them RC car versions.
Ah, yes, he
ones.
does. He does.
Yeah.
He had a trigger one, didn't he? Trigger and wheel setups. In general, Bronco towards the end just kind of calmed it down, got control of the fight, and just cruised to victory.
That's the thing about Bronco. It's very much a robot that will take the first few hits and then it will slowly. It reminds me a lot of Wild Thing from Robot Wars. It will take the first few hits and then it will slowly learn what the other, its opponent is driving is like, I should say, and then it will work its way out and use it against it, and it will manage to get those important moments. And that's exactly what happened in this battle.
I don't know. To me, it feels very Gravity. Like it's just like get the fight done quick. Let's be done.
Well, there's that as well, obviously. It's a mixture of both.
Yeah,
that's the thing that comes to my mind.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a really nice fight. This one, obviously, in the end, it was a win for Bronco, and Bronco does make it through to a third consecutive quarter-final. I mean, just the consistency is just unreal.
Yeah, the Inertia Labs guys know exactly what they're doing. I mean, to me, it's not a surprise that that they've really made it this far. Honestly,
I actually believe they are the only team in BattleBots to have now done this. Because obviously,
make 3 straight quarters.
Because I don't think Bite Force did they in season? No, they didn't.
No, they lost in the round. They lost in the round of 16.
Yeah, so there you go. So the only team in modern BattleBots to make the quarterfinals every season they appear is now Bronco. Well, for all 3 seasons, obviously Minotaur's done it as well, but in all 3 seasons it was Bronco. Right. So there you go. It's pretty unprecedented. They are obviously a very established team, and they've done a really great job once again.
Oh yeah.
Anything to add to the fight?
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, honestly. I mean, that's the thing. Like a lot of us were thinking the only way that Warhawk could have won this fight was to get underneath those twangers and just attack the bottom plate of Bronco and hope something shorted out inside, or maybe they got to one of the wheels or something like that. That's what they're called, aren't they?
Is that what they're actually called?
The little rib cage? I think that's what they're called.
Oh, I thought it was called the rib cage. I didn't know it was called. They were called the twangers.
I'm pretty sure that's what they're called.
Sorry.
I'll have to check with that. Comment section, help me.
If they are called that, mate, that's an amazing name. I didn't know that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think one thing we'd have to say as well is Rob Farrow and Warhawk. What a great season they've had. Going out to Bronco, there's no shame there.
They were very low key good all year. You know what I mean? But they hadn't had until their last fight with the with that Rumble, did they finally get every phase of their robot working probably how they wanted it to. And I'm sure there's things that they probably wanted to work better, probably earlier on in the season where their disc stops or their drive stops, But I don't know. There's no shame in losing to a bot like Bronco, honestly.
No, not at all. And I think they thoroughly deserved their place in the top 16, and I desperately hope we get to see them again next season for sure.
Yes.
Obviously, we had one highlighted fight once again. This time it was the fight between Whiplash and Yeti, which looks pretty...
It looks so good. It looks so good.
We'll review it next week. How about that? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Sounds fair.
Sounds fair? Okay.
Because they'll have uploaded it by then, won't it? So yeah, I'm definitely watching that.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Could
have the best battle of the series.
Well, potentially, but there you go.
Also, do you guys have any comments on the WHYACH Lockjaw fight?
So...
I'll be honest, I didn't actually get a chance to watch it.
That's okay.
Having seen it a lot, I get why it went to Lockjaw. I'll tell you why. Because
I gotta plug my PC in. You keep talking.
The only visible damage that was done by Lockjaw to sort of WHYACH. Like they took a few chunks out of their top, and that was about it. Obviously, WHYACH got the big hits in on the plow, but it burnt up pretty quickly. So there was a good, 2 minutes of the fight where Lockjaw was the one dominating the fight, and it was the one causing the damage. So I think the judges got the decision right, but we've seen them given, haven't we? We've seen them given the other way, but
yeah, it was a close fight.
People are actually saying it's controversial then.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is with
not controversial, but it was the interpretation of the rules once again is another interesting factor.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with Lockjaw getting in and using that primary weapon continuously on WHYACH, and WHYACH burned up. WHYACH smoked off in this fight too. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
That's huge in the judges' eyes, as we've seen. Like if your robot's not 100% at the end of the fight, you're gonna lose points no matter what anyway. But yet, having just watched it probably like in the last hour, it was, oh man, the shots that WHYACH got off on Lockjaw. That's, I mean, again, and we've talked about this a lot, where it's hard to understand the scale of these robots unless you see them in person. When you see Lockjaw just fly across the box like it's nothing.
I know.
And
yeah, like
it was such a spectacle. It must be to see. But again, WHYACH disappoints me.
You know,
I just gotta end it with that.
1 year, Steve. 1 year, mate.
Steve, for context, back in season 2 said WHYACH was going to win the whole thing. Obviously, since then it's lost. Since then it's lost to Poison Arrow, and it's lost to Brutus, and now it's lost to Lockjaw.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. My picks are doing okay now. You know, like we'll see. We'll see in some later fights that I've actually done pretty well this time.
To be fair to Steve, though, you know, it was looking good in season 2 originally against Ghost Raptor.
Yeah, of course.
And then
I mean, of all things against Ghost Raptor, you know, I don't know.
Anyway, we'll move on. Let's say about Ghost Raptor the better probably.
Okay, fuck.
we'll move on to the 2 quarterfinals, and the first one was a quarterfinal between Bite Force and RotatoR, and my god, my god, wow, Bite Force, wow. I mean, this was special. This
was clinical.
Like, I've seen some amazing fights this season on BattleBots. You know, there's a lot that spring to mind where a robot just dominates the fight, and you just think, my goodness, that was impressive. This was the most impressive of the lot. Honestly, the way that Paul Ventimiglia was just closing the angles, not letting, you know, Victor Soto spin up once, and just chewing into that robot just endlessly. And then at the end, he took the panel off the front. And then he's just like, Victor, you're good. And he's just like, yeah, just keep going. And then
you see them frantically. They're not even listening to him. Or it was a different cut. But they make it look like they're not even listening to him. Or they're like, oh my god, this is not going to work. Oh my god.
And then he just goes in one more time and just gives it an absolute smash. And then, off comes the wheel, rip.
Yeah. Off comes the plate. The plate splits in half. The wheel comes off. It was...
Oh my goodness.
It made the little boy in me feel real proud that I've learned this robot combat thing is a real thing.
Let's put it this way: if you would look at the word spectacle in the dictionary,
this is it.
You would find out. You would find the description of what the word spectacle means, which means this fight. There you go.
It was unbelievable. I mean, as I say, there's been some dominating fights this season. You know, Sawblaze against Overhaul springs to mind, where Sawblaze just dominates the whole fight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was amazing. Like, absolutely amazing.
I don't know if I find this more impressive than its fight against Hypershock, just because with Hypershock it was done in 2 hits.
Right, yeah. There's less time for the awesomeness to soak in.
Airtime.
Yeah.
When it comes to airtime, this was ridiculous.
Yeah.
RotatoR must have flew, at least 6 feet in the air. Got to have been, easily. I mean, that was... Again, wow, how heavy is RotatoR? It's a heavyweight, so what? It's
250 pounds.
230?
So 250 pounds.
Is it actually 250, or is that just that's the limit? I mean,
that's
up
the
to
limit.
250 pounds.
Let's find out.
I mean, if it was 250 pounds, I mean, holy Jesus, that's almost an entire American thrown through the air, guys.
Thanks.
And we're off the
good old-fashioned American fat joke.
Sorry, I was channeling my inner Clarkson there. Sorry, I did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there you go. RotatoR is. Bear with me. I'll tell you.
No, I'm faster.
Come on, internet, do it for me.
If we were professional, we'd look this shit up.
Yep. Do you know what? It's not working. I went the wrong way.
I'm going to win. I don't.
Gotta go on the wiki. Come on.
Shoot! No, robot info is not loading. Why?
For God's sake.
Do you know what? We'll just, for the sake of argument, we'll say 250. Okay, for the sake of argument.
All right. Shake hands.
What we'll do is right here we'll put an actual thing saying how much it actually weighs.
Oh, great.
Either way, it's fucking impressive,
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to say it one more time. Bite Force is fucking daft. There you go.
It really is. It really is.
It just is. It's just stupid. It doesn't make any. It's impossibly good. I mean, it's just. Oh my God.
I mean, look. Let's not make no mistake here. RotatoR's had a really good season. To finish in the top 8 is very impressive, and they deserve a huge amount of credit considering how their season went last time. This is much more like it. More like it. So, yeah, this fair play to the RotatoR guys. They've come a long way, and to get, as I say, top 8, really good. However, Paul Ventimiglia and Bite Force. Genuinely, I can't see anything beating this now.
Really?
Genuinely,
because after this fight as well, they had the advert little cutaway thing where they have a little cutaway in the commercials. They talk about replacing the frame on Bite Force, so they've got a new chassis ready to go.
Yep.
What?
A fresh start for Bite Force.
In the semis. I mean, my God.
It's just daft, isn't it? It's so silly.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I think it was. I don't know if it was either Chris or Kenny that said that Paul must be a pit wizard to finally to actually get Bite Force running the way that it is. So there was evidence in that clip that he is a pit wizard.
It was incredible. When it started hitting RotatoR, okay, Bite Force, it kept hitting Bite Force. I didn't see the bar stop once. I didn't see it slow down. It just kept going. I'm just so baffled.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Silly. It just doesn't. It makes no sense. It's like it's the thing of myths. It's something that you hear whispered among the pits.
Yeah.
They once said his name was Bite Force. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's interesting because this is like one of those robots that it was underwhelming when it came back in 2016. Where it's like, man, why'd you get rid of the jaws? We love the jaws. What's up with this little? Why are you becoming a spinner all of a sudden? And then he comes back this year, and he's
on a mission.
Well, he's his own class of spinner.
So here's the thing. Okay, obviously, we're obviously discussing Bite Force. With that said, if it goes, it could potentially go on and win this now, which puts it in a very, very elite group of 2 currently.
Yeah.
Which
is of the modern series, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. In terms of heavyweight champion, I suppose as well. You have to include Vlad in there, don't you, as well?
Definitely a repeat champion. Even back all those years ago. Was that the last time? Did Biohazard repeat? I don't know if they did. I think there was.
Obviously,
Biohazard won season 2, 4, and 5.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
it's been a while.
It won 3.
Yeah.
So you got.
Had 2 to back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you obviously got in terms of heavyweights, you got Chaos 2 who won 2 times in the UK. You got Panzer who won twice in the US, and obviously Vlad and Biohazard as well. So that would put it in a very elite club if it manages to win this, which it could do. It could do.
Yeah. That's a pretty nice club to be in, honestly.
Everyone says Tombstone is the daddy of BattleBots, and fair enough. In terms of the the spectacle and the drama, and Ray's brilliant work in terms of playing the bad guy. He's he's great at that sort of thing. But Bite Force has really emerged as this sort of
it's a future Hall of Fame robot, honestly.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
Easy. In fact, I'm it's every odd numbered year they do the Combat Hall of Fame. I'm betting you next year it'll be inducted. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Especially if it wins. If it wins, then it's guaranteed in there.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, obviously, but regardless of if it goes on to win or not, we're already talking about like it's won the thing. We don't know that yet.
I know. No, I know. There's still another. They still got another speed bump to get over.
They got 2, potentially 2.
Kills it.
Yeah, well,
Whiplash kills it, which is a nice segue, I think. There.
It is a nice segue, but we'll discuss more about what will happen next week. Which brings us to our final fight of the night, and wow. Obviously we spoke about Paul's driving display against Rotator, but again, Matt Vasquez. It was hammered home all episode that Matt Vasquez is a great driver. This fight, wow,
just silly.
It was
again, it's daft. He is the bite force of driving. It's daft. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The thing
to
is,
get around and using Bronco's design against it. You know what I mean? Getting between those twangers, and using that wedge and that arm, and actually not using the over attack, but like having the arm up and have the blade come out the bottom of the arm and be able to hit the top of Bronco.
I just
want to say this as well. A KO victory against Bronco is no easy feat.
No.
That is ridiculously amazing.
Only 2 other robots have done that. That's Tombstone and Minotaur.
I was going to say, so that puts Whiplash in a very elite club as well. Only Tombstone and Minotaur so far have actually even beat Bronco.
Yeah.
So and now
Bronco is the flipper over here. There really is no other at this point.
Although it has to be said,
there literally is no other flipper at this point.
I mean, Sub-Zero, yes, and Basilisk, yes, but they're not on the same level, are they? Let's face it. In terms of competitiveness, they're not on the same level. Yep. With that said, though, any team that has beaten Bronco has not gone on to win the championship.
Oh no!
So
you can do it.
Not to put an omen on
wait
Matt
a
Vasquez.
minute. Was it back in season 2? Did Dissector win the championship after beating Toro, and then it went on to?
Well, in season 2.
And, was it season 2 or did they lose in season 2? I don't remember.
I'll look it up. I'm on the wiki. I might as well stay while I'm here.
Please, because I know Toro lost in series 2 because their batteries went out or something. Or they lost connection to the receiver. It was so many years ago. I wish I had
season 2, Toro lost to Atomic Wedgie. So there you go.
Oh, that's right, Atomic Wedgie. That's right.
So
and then Atomic Wedgie didn't end up winning.
There you go. You see. So whoever beats Toro doesn't win the giant nut. So
right.
There's a lot of history on this.
Well done, mate. See you next time. Can I just say this now, though? In all honesty, right? Whiplash is slowly, as this season has gone on, has slowly but surely been climbing ranks as one of my favourite BattleBots robots, and this to me has cemented it to me as one of my favourites because it's everything I look for in robot combat. It's a great control robot. It uses fantastic driving skill and tactical driving, but at the same time, it does deliver damage and spectacle as well. It's just incredible, and honestly, I don't think anybody saw it beating Bronco. Not many. I think it was sort of split down the middle. People seeing it beating Yeti. Some people said it would. Some people said it wouldn't. It's turned a lot of heads, and we've got a very, very strong potential future legend on our hands here.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely
so. And
considering,
go on. Because I think we all, let's be honest now, I think everybody assumed or thought that the top 3 Cs were going to make it to the top 4.
In fact, I think everyone kind of thought the top 4 were going to make it to the top 4.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah. Top 4 were going to make it to the top 4. And the fact that 2 of them are now out, and it's the top 2 as well, which is ridiculous. It's like, it's just incredible. It's absolutely fantastic. Fair play to you, Matt, because you tell you what, you're probably not watching this because whatever. But fair play, mate. You've built a great machine, and you are a fantastic driver, and you deserve, I think, everybody's respect after this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But with that said, though, I mean, considering as well as that, those guys with Splatter last time around.
Yeah.
It didn't quite go to plan with their Splatter. Yeah, I mean, the fact that they've now come back and they've really stepped up their game and kind of dominated, a lot of fights.
Mm-hmm.
Huge congratulations to Matt Vasquez and that team for taking such a leap forward in such a short amount of time, and obviously them coming runner up.
The Robo Games performance definitely helps, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It was incredible. Fair play to those guys, and hopefully we'll get to see them perform well in the final, which is next week. Go on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm also looking at who else has beaten Toro and then lost in the final. Minion in season 3.0 beat Toro and lost to Gladiator. Let's see. Dissector did win season 2.0. I'm an idiot. But yeah, that's another instance of, and that's just the super heavyweight version. I don't know how successful the Matador was. I know Team Minus won a season once upon a time.
To be fair, they were the only team to ever beat Hazard.
Yeah. So I was really looking forward to a IceWave Bronco fight because I would like to see if it went the same way.
I wanted to see Bite Force versus Bronco, but it just didn't happen.
Didn't pan out.
Not this
Gonna
time.
cry.
Not this time
Nope.
around. But
So my pick to win is in the top 4 right now. I just want to put this out there.
It is,
because I said Whiplash in the beginning, and I'm the WHYACH pick was bad. But this is going better for me.
I can't even remember.
Already, so.
It's been such a long time.
I originally said free shipping, I think.
I remember.
Who did I go for? I can't even remember. Let me know in the comments who I said, because who knows.
I think you said the Minotaur, mate.
I did. Yeah, that was it, Minotaur. So mine's in the top 4 as well. So we could have a potential final, Steve.
Basically, right. If I predict it, it's fucked. Let's just say that. Every damn time.
I will say this. The final 4 that we've got. Is obviously brilliant final 4 of Lockjaw, Minotaur, Whiplash, and Bite Force. We've got 2 former champions in there, the young gun and the robot that everyone expects to do well but hasn't hit the hit it running so far until kind of the last 2 rounds. This is going to be really interesting. I honestly don't know which way this is going to go. There's 4 robots that can all genuinely win.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how do we think this is going to go? Realistically, how do we think this is going to go?
Realistically, I'm going to say Bite Force beats Whiplash. Minotaur beats Lockjaw. And then I'm probably going to have to go for Bite Force against Minotaur myself, personally. But with how this series has gone, it's also very possible for it to just me completely clusterfuck and just be anybody, because it's literally been one of them seasons, and let's be fair now.
Yeah. I'm actually going to go... I'm going to go Whiplash over Bite Force.
Ooh, yeah. Well, you have to, really, don't you?
Yeah, at this point, I'm committed. I'm going to go Minotaur over Lockjaw. And then for my final of Minotaur and Whiplash, I go Whiplash for the upset.
Okay. Interesting.
With a coming-of-age story of a kid growing up watching the sport and just kicking everybody's butt.
Well, of course, if you remember in Series 10 or the 3rd season of the reboot of Robot Wars, that's what happened with Eruption.
Uh-huh.
And so far, these shows have married, have
it's
have
getting
matched
a little
each other.
creepy.
Because obviously
Somebody pointed it out.
Tombstone lost to the runner-up of the previous season, just like Carbide did.
Yes.
Then
it came back and tore everything up in the next season.
Yeah. So, who knows? This is really strange. I personally, I'm actually with Anderson completely on this. I think Bite Force is going to go on. Even though I said that at the start of the season Minotaur would win this, I think it'll be in the final. I think it'll be really close. But like the way Bite Force was against RotatoR, how can I go against that? I mean, come on.
I don't know.
Come on now. I have no idea. But anyway, I want to hear your guys' predictions in the comments. That's what I want to hear.
Please.
Tell us what you think, because we don't know. We clearly have you seen our bracket? Our brackets are out the window.
Yeah, our brackets are terrible. I'm gonna burn mine. I never made one. I never made a bracket. It never happened.
Just like season 2, Steve.
I know it's the same. It's the same thing again.
All
that analysis for nothing.
Sam and I recorded the day one. Unfortunately, it completely failed and went wrong.
Yep.
But us two and our guest, it was Dom, wasn't it?
Yep.
He'll
be with us for the final as well. The Seaborg will be with us for the final, just because obviously the audio.
Just to make up for it, yeah. So he'll be with us for the final. I think all 3 of our predictions for the top 16 bracket just got shat out the wall this time, to be fair. So it's been great, and that really shows you a good series, really, because at the end of the day, when you can't predict it, it's better.
Yep. For sure.
For sure.
You just think, the way this season's gone, who knows who's going to win? I mean, at this point, it really could go either way. But there you go. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching. Obviously, Anderson and Steve and myself will be back next week for the final episode of the season.
Oh, it's the end of an era. It's the curtain call.
I mean,
I know.
They've done 20 of these this season, so I'm actually really proud of us.
Yeah, we're pretty consistent with these. I can't believe we've actually kept up with it as well as we have.
I thought for sure we'd at least miss one, but no, we've actually done it. I just wow.
We haven't. I think Steve and I have to miss a few each, but at the end of the day, that can't be helped. But overall, it's been great fun. It's felt like an adventure.
Yeah. It has. Anyway, we'll discuss.
Coming to a close on Friday.
It is indeed, but we will discuss the rest of the the rest of the episodes, or the rest of the season next week for the final episode. But until then, I've been Sambalit64.
I've been Anderson9132, the RoboCast guru.
And I've been Steve, the American Killjoy.
And we will see you next week for the final of BattleBots 2018. Bye-bye.
Let's go, Whiplash.